Hello, 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 hello. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing good. Welcome to my little project, right? Maga Wars. Maga Wars. That's the topic of now. Right? Maga Wars. Interesting. I think the reality of the political system we live in, where allies become enemies and enemies become allies, right? Candace Owens is one of the people that helped get Trump elected, right? In the early days. She was one of the people that helped Trump get elected, right? And now she flipped on him. Now did a 360 on supporting Trump, right? She did a 360 on supporting Trump, right? Let's see the truth. This is a tweet that I want to read it to you, right? I want to read the tweet. Um, it's a study going on. It says, some followers of people are extremely upset about the attack on Congressman with Megan Kelly, Alex Jones, and some politics, right? They're showing that they're upset. It's social, right? Um, they're always out of line. And most of these people, especially Alex Jones, have been your day one. You need to step back and take a good hard look at who was created here. Get back to America first. Firstly, put up with years of abuse from the worst black jobs out here in Cali for showing my support of you. So after this, I'm hanging on your red flag this time. Get right. Some people suggest everyone that fought for him to win just because of the Epstein files and being at war with Iran for Israel. They didn't leave MAGA. MAGA left them. MAGA left me too. So sad to see. You had so much potential, Trump. Voted for you all 3 times, and I feel so betrayed. So this is Candace Owens' clip. Um, two social comments that Trump supporters wrote on his webpage, right? If you actually click it, um, now it's basically Ultra MAGA versus the MAGA, right? That's what it's come down to. Ultra MAGA versus the MAGA. That's like the reality, right? That's who's fighting each other, right? The MAGA versus the Ultra MAGA. And um, so there's some that are still in some side, but a lot of them are saying, hey, bring down the temperature. Don't turn on your own people. Don't turn on the old MAGA. Don't turn on the people that have been supporting this thing one, because if you turn on them, you can turn on us. So they say that a lot of people don't like the whole back and forth between Donald Trump, the left, the right. So now they're saying that the left is the right is fighting each other. This is a tweet that
I just made page, right? He went on an ultra rampage against MAGA. He's saying that people are not MAGA enough and they're not supporting him enough. And so listen to what he said.
A woman who I saw the other night on television just ripped some poor idiot apart. Megyn Kelly is here, and she's doing. Come up. Come up here, Megyn. By the way, I'm having a great time up here. Are you having a good time? Hey. Is he the greatest interviewer? Candace Owens, I watched her and I saw her coming. I said, you know, I'm pretty good at star power. I'd say, that's a star. I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed.
Donald Trump, let me say this. My audience, I'd say 90% supports you. Okay. Right. And you definitely have shown your knowledge of geopolitical systems.
I just mentioned a name, but a woman who I saw the other night on television just ripped some poor idiot apart.
And those are the people, after he spoke so well of these MAGA influencers, and said that they were making a difference and they were like the best people in the world and that they were happy, he was happy to have their support. Now all of a sudden he changed his tune, and now so MAGA is now fighting MAGA, right? MAGA's fighting MAGA, right? And this is what Candace Owens said. It may be time to put grandpa up in a home, right? That he needs to be put in a group home because he's just delusional, right? And this is the tweet that Donald Trump sent out. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes. And they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, right? Thanks to Trump, right? Trump helped them lose their shows, right? Look at it, right? Nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who naturally asked me now the famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not. Or will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, and he's ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA, they're losers. They're trying to latch on to MAGA. As president, I can get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs, and after a few times they go nasty, just like Marjorie Taylor Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning, and strength is in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump, he unloaded on them because when he threatened Iran, a lot of them said that he went too far, and they wouldn't be able to support any type of threats against whole nations, right? He said they wouldn't support threats against whole nations, right? So this is the implosion of MAGA. Those deep MAGA supporters are no longer supporting MAGA, and Trump is no longer supporting MAGA. So it's just a reality, that allies could always become enemies, right? It says in the Bible that there's a thin line between love and hate, right? There's a thin line between love and hate, and it's easy to hate and fill your heart with hate, just like it's easy to fill your heart with love, right? There's two things you could do. You could fill yourself with love, or you could fill yourself with hate, right? So it's easy to just say, "Hey, I hate you," and it's easy to say, "I love you," right? Let's listen to some of the commentary from these people that Trump claims are now never were good, but he sought after their support, and he went on their he went on their shows, even though they claim that their shows are not important now, right? They claim that their shows are not important now, but and then Cannon Owens says, I was going to remain off air for the week, but given Trump's glorious attack on his own sanity, I will be back with a response at 5 p.m. See you guys then. So that was Candace Owen. Because he keeps attacking her personally, right? He keeps attacking her personally. So Trump decided he has to do a return, right? A response, right? He feels like he has to do a response, right? And this was Tucker Carlson, his response.
At 6:32 Eastern Time, right in the middle of dinner, Donald Trump sent out a truth.
And so Tucker Carlson personally was hurt by what Trump was saying about him. And this is what he put out, his statement.
Post, his version of Twitter, in which he announced a ceasefire with Iran. Here's exactly what he said. This would be 1 hour and 28 minutes before the total destruction of Iran that he had been promising, the implied use of nuclear weapons or some other weapon of mass destruction, a weapon powerful enough to eliminate an entire country in one night, as he said. So that's what people were expecting to see. That's what he promised to deliver. And instead, this statement: subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. We've already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with the definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the U.S. and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America as president, and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it's an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Well, amen. Cold water on a hot day. The nation, the world, breathed a sigh of relief. And particularly pleased were people who have fought in previous wars, people in the GWAT generation, people who are conspicuously absent from the Fox News analysis of this war, people who know what it is to fight wars. Because one of the things that people who fight wars, who see them up close, learn is that almost anything is better than war. Even a step back or a step down, even giving up something you want while bitter, is better than total war, because there is nothing worse in this life than total war. And that's a generational lesson. Every generation that experiences total war learns that lesson. And so the most eloquent writing about why war is bad is written by people who have seen it and experienced it. Every big war produces a generation of writers calling for no more wars. And then, predictably, inevitably, cyclically, the next generation forgets that lesson, maybe the key lesson of existence, and the cycle of wars continues. So last night seemed like a victory for the United States, even though it was, strictly speaking, probably a loss. Now, the president didn't explain what's in this 10-point plan, this proposed agreement that he'd received from the government of Iran, but we know roughly what was in it. There have been a bunch of versions of it floating around. Are they real? 10-point, 15-point? It's impossible to know. But the big picture points are known. And first among them is the current government of Iran will stay in power. That's the first point. So regime change did not work. Everyone admits that now, including the Israeli government with whom we're embarked on this adventure. Everyone understands that there is no way to dislodge the current government short of nuclear weapons. And so when this ends, whenever it does, the regime, the terror regime, to say on Fox News, will be in place. And that's not a win. That's a loss. U.S. military bases in the region have been destroyed, certainly badly damaged. From some of the U.S. military personnel have withdrawn, retreated. That's not good.
This is when he goes sideways on Trump.
A display of power. That's a display of weakness. So there's no way to spin that. That's a loss. This war has cost hundreds of billions of dollars, of U.S. dollars, taxpayer dollars. That money comes from debt, from selling our debt, our treasuries to other countries. So that's a loss. That's a big loss. Commodities prices have risen, not as dramatically as they might if this were to continue, but they've risen a lot. That's a loss. That's a tax on people who buy things in the United States. And then, of course, Americans have been killed. It's not clear how many, because there's an awful lot of lying about it, but it's a substantial number, more than a dozen, and maybe much more than that. We don't know yet. We will know at some point. So Americans have died. America's gotten poorer. America's become weaker demonstrably. We can't open the Strait of Hormuz, which is the overriding objective of this war. We can't do it by force. That's been proven. And the regime that we described as illegitimate, this crazed theocracy, these Stone Age people, are going to, when this is all over, remain in control of Iran. So again, those are losses, just objectively. And yet, and here's the point, a ceasefire would still be a win for the United States because war, total war, is just that bad. It's so bad that even absorbing some humiliation and some measurable losses is still better than that. And most people understand that intuitively. You don't need to be ideological or interested in geopolitics to understand.
And Trump blew his top. Hearing Tucker Carlson speaking about his failures, speaking about how Trump is a failure, and Alex Jones called for the invocation of the 25th Amendment. He had Marjorie Taylor Greene as his guest. And that's when Donald Trump blew his top. That's when Donald Trump blew his top, started tweeting, started sending true social messages, because he just lost it. When he heard Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, those were like the top 5 original MAGA supporters, right? That helped propel him to the top. Even Joe Rogan has like disavowed some of the stuff that Donald Trump has done, right? And these are the people that they claim helped catapult him and had a strong audience, right?
That Americans getting killed, the country going bankrupt, commodity prices wrecking the global economy, the uncertainty itself is a cost. You don't know what the future holds, so you can't plan for it. All of this is much worse than what we'd be getting with an agreement that diminishes us to some extent, because it's very obvious we could be still further diminished and further wounded by this. So that was the state of play.
The agreement's bad.
At 6:32, the president announces what is, objectively speaking, not a win, And yet most reasonable people accept it as a win because, relatively speaking, that's a win. A ceasefire is a good thing. And anyone who doesn't think it's a good thing has to explain why it would be in America's interest, the tangible interest of the United States, to continue this. To what objective? What is the goal? No one has ever really explained what that is. Degrade Iran, change the regime. What does that mean? Open the Strait of Hormuz. How? Tell us how. There's not one person in the Pentagon who can figure out how to do it. These people wage war for a living. Not all of them are stupid. Some of them are pretty smart. They can't figure out how to do it by force, so they would have done it already. What's your plan? Well, there's no plan, of course. So anyone who opposes the ceasefire is not an ally of the United States, but an opponent of American interests, maybe even an enemy. So with that in mind, it's worth assessing what happened to the ceasefire. Well, it seemed to last a very, very short time. Now, not in name, no one is saying there's no ceasefire, but certainly in practice, because very shortly, within hours of the president announcing this, Israel, our unmentioned partner in this war, decided to bomb civilians in Beirut, Lebanon.
And now the ceasefire
bomb civilians.
Is possibly in danger of being lost or being overthrown, right? Because Israel said Lebanon was never part of it. The United States had tweeted out. Now Trump says he wasn't part of it, that we're not part of it. And so even the ceasefire is delicate, and J.D. Vance is going to go to the White House. So let's keep listening to Tucker Carlson just for a few more minutes. And then I want to play what Megyn Kelly is saying about Trump, what Alex Jones is saying about Trump, what all these MAGA mouthpieces are saying about Trump.
Apartment blocks. That's not anti-Israeli hyperbole. That's not blood libel. That is measurably true because there's video of it, a lot of it. Because Beirut is one of the greatest and most civilized cities on the planet. It's not Yemen. Lots of people have been to Beirut. Beirut is also, by the way, the capital of the only country in the Middle East whose president is a Christian. The president of Lebanon has always been a Christian since the founding of the country, over 100 years. So in some basic sense, this is a Christian country. It's certainly a Christian-led country. And it's not a primitive country. It's probably one of the top 3 most beautiful places in the world. But it's also one of the most civilized places in the world. And for many years, the southern portions of the country have been controlled, or at least influenced, by a Shiite militia group, which has become, in effect, the government of those parts of the country, called Hezbollah. You've heard of Hezbollah. I think the U.S. Congress has declared it a terror organization. No one's defending Hezbollah. But Hezbollah's the main thing to know about Hezbollah is that they are sworn opponents of Israel, and that's why you know their name. That's why it's not just a regional problem in the Levant for you. It is an ever-present slogan that people are shouting at you all the time. Hezbollah, they're bad. Well, why are they bad? Well, they're against Israel. That's why. They're also the people, apparently, who perpetrated the 1983 barracks bombing against U.S. Marines and killed almost 300 American Marines. The United States was in Lebanon at the time. Why was the U.S. there? Well, because Israel had invaded Lebanon. And so the Reagan administration, in response to what Israel did, decided to get involved on behalf of our closest ally, and almost 300 American Marines were murdered by Hezbollah. Not blaming Israel for that. Apparently they had advanced knowledge of it. That's pretty clear. It's been documented. But Hezbollah did it. They did it, not Israel. But we were there because of our alliance with Israel. Fact. So Hezbollah has for many...
So, I mean, he goes a little off on a tangent. And so Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, those are just part of the people that are criticizing Donald Trump, and he blew his top with that long Truth Social I've never seen such a long truth social from Donald Trump, right? He went a long truth social rampage, attacking all the people that are opposing him, right? And then, so this was Megyn
Or
Kelly.
with many Americans.
By the way, my name is Celso Garcia. Hit the follow button, hit the share button. This is Megyn Kelly on her show. This is a MAGA
Now, as you
Trump
can imagine,
loyalist.
that post did not go over well with the Iranians. Or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D, yes, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians. Or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D, yes, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians. Or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D, yes, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit.
So she went hard on. She went hard on Donald Trump, the person that she supported, the person that she was supporting since the beginning, helped get him elected. And now Candace Owens is saying, it may be time to put Grandpa in a home. Like, they're just taking him down. They're just taking him down as if they're really disappointed in what they did. And so you tell me. Are you sick and tired of Trump? Are you sick and tired of the way he's speaking, the threat and the whiplash in our system? And the economy is showing for it too, right? The economy is showing because consumer confidence is way down. People are not believing in that they're going to be safe. So they're not spending, right? Right? They know that they've been spending way too much money, right? And they feel like we're not going to get around this, right? Right? We feel like he might not come around, right? He might not come around, right? He might not come around, right? He might not recover from all the pain, all the destruction, all the lies. People feel burned, right? People feel burned. And instead, yesterday, what happens? Melania Trump gets on the stage and says she has nothing to do with the president of the. She has nothing to do with what's happening, right? So this is what she did yesterday, right? This is what she did yesterday, right? She got on the stage. The press wasn't waiting for her, and the press wasn't waiting for her. They were waiting for Trump to give them an update on the Iran war, and Melania got on the stage and decided to do this. And a lot of people said they were blindsided by Melania's announcement. They weren't expecting it.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect.
Wait
I
up.
do not
Ethical
object
standards?
to their ignorance, but rather I reject
Ethical
their
standards.
mean-spirited attempts
All of a sudden, everyone
to
has
defame
ethical
my
standards.
reputation.
Wait up. Ethical standards in the White House that she's standing at? Right? Ethical standards. All of a sudden, she cares about ethical standards.
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were
You believe her?
invited to the same parties as
Wow.
Epstein from time to time,
Same
since
parties.
overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or
You
his
hear that, right, people?
accomplice, Maxwell.
No type
My
of
email
relationship.
reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
Casual.
My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note.
So they were emailing each other, right? Cordially, right? And they were hanging out in the same circles, the same social circles of Epstein. They were in the circles of Epstein and they were emailing each other. Is that a confession? Talk about you running around with Epstein and Maxwell, yeah, in social circles, and you're emailing each other. That's a damning. I don't know who wrote that, but that's like saying I was there, I was in there, but I didn't see nothing. I was there all the time. We hung out. We were bros. We were friends, but we weren't that close of a friend, right? We were close friends, but we hung out on the weekends. Every weekend we hung out together. We partied together, but nothing ever happened. We never saw anything. Even when there was a whole bunch of young girls around.
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998.
In a New York City Epstein
This
party.
initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania.
Melania, buy her book,
The
people.
first time I
Watch her
crossed
movie.
paths with Epstein
Part 2's
was
coming
in
out
the year
soon.
2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been calculating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false.
For years, and now all of a sudden you
I'm
want to
not a
play the record?
witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's.
So she's saying, in other words, now she wants to address it after many, many years of it circulating. Now you want to address the accusations. Why didn't you address the accusations before? And now you threatening legal action against anyone that says the same thing, right? You threatening legal action against anyone that says the same thing. Does that make sense?
Crimes. My
This was
name has
yesterday, by
never
the way.
appeared in court documents, depositions, victim
Melania.
statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter.
How do you know?
I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive
Wait up.
behavior.
I thought that didn't happen. I thought there was no evidence of the law being broken. Now you just admitted that it was broken.
The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation.
Oh, man.
To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me.
Oh, wow. You believe that? You believe that? Do you guys believe that? Tell me the truth. And so this is... Okay, so let's listen to that. And what Epstein victims are rallying about this. They're upset about this.
Such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we
so
still
Trump
must work
didn't-
openly and transparently to uncover the truth.
So what about your
I
husband?
call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony.
As long as they don't testify about your
Each and every
husband.
woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
Oh. Never issue a statement like that, right? And so it blindsided a lot of people, including Donald Trump. He didn't know how to respond. But we have one of the victims is like, okay, we'll take the opportunity. We want to tell our story, right?
Melania Trump just made a statement that directly contradicts Todd Blanche, who claimed there's nothing to look into and no one else is involved. Instead of dismissing her statement as a stunt or deflection, let's call it what it could be, an opportunity. You said survivors can testify.
Give these victims their opportunity to testify.
You said their voice can be entered in the congressional record. Good. Let's do that. How about private testimony, where survivors are protected, where their truth isn't filtered through their fear, because most have fear or NDAs. This is where statements can be compared directly to the files. Then we'll know. Then we'll see if there's really nothing to look into, like Todd said. Because this has never been about politics. It's about the truth. Melania wants us to know the truth about her. We want the truth about us too. It's still about accountability. And it's about finally getting it right for survivors. What can you do to help Melania? Melania Trump just made a statement that directly...
And so some of the victims are like, okay, we welcome this opportunity. You know, you want us. So Epstein survivor Lisa Phillips just called on Congress to do exactly what Melania Trump asked for, and she exposes the truth DOJ for directly contradicting what Melania said. Melania Trump just made a statement that directly contradicted Todd Blanche, right? And so she's contradicting Todd Blanche, which said there's nothing more to be seen. And Melania Trump, but there's NDAs, right? There's non-disclosure agreement that some of the women filed, and they will get sued. They will be taken to court if they speak what they want to speak, right? That's the problem. And well, let's hear it. There was one more that I wanted to play. Okay, there you go. That's the video I wanted to play that I saw. Right? That's the video I wanted to play.
2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced his relationship with Melania. Epstein is quoted, and this is from an interview apparently in 2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced his relationship with Melania. Epstein is quoted, and this is from an interview apparently in 2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced his relationship with Melania.
So now there's witnesses that say that maybe Melania's hands are not as clean as she claims they are. So she's getting ahead of a story.
Have to say that she's not, right? She's getting ahead of the story. They think Melania is innocent. I mean, she's a cover model. She's on a lot of magazines, exposes herself, exposes her body. Uh, so what do you answer? What do you answer? You think this is true? You think Melania Trump is innocent, or do you think it's going to be like this? You think Melania Trump is innocent? So what do you think, President? You feeling that Melania pretty much and is it to be Donald Trump by us? And I'm sorry that you know, I think right, you the science that is 2016 to come together as Donald Trump with Melania, they were together during their time, and so now people saying they don't understand what's going on, right? With Melania. You can feel the Maga, Maga, study Maga, and it's called Maga, Maga, they also got the people. It's like every unlimited time, so every unlimited time, very it's like they say, the foot is hitting the fan, right? The crap is hitting the fan, and it's spreading all over, and everyone's trying to save themselves from each other, right? Trying to protect their own interest, trying to protect their own interest. And that's what Margie said, thinking, and it's they're
a lot of time in two different nano labs. Basically, LED lights, look what they brought out in the COVID pandemic, LED lights everywhere, and 5G plus waves. The combination of them, you can actually take any type of electronic circuitry system, reduce it down to a nano size so that it gets inside of the people, and then through the combination of LED lights and 5G plus waves, you see it Tesla phoresis. And this is well documented.
Explain what a Tesla phoresis.
Phoresis is when you have the synergistic effect of LED lights and 5G plus electromagnetic waves causes magnetic components.
and how the Trump administration is holding disgusting, and that's his argument, right? Trump administration is disgusting, and the biggest struggle right now, right? The Trump administration is in trouble, and instead of requesting help from the people that got him elected, and Congress is saying that they want Trump evaluated. They say they would like a mental security test. Number one, they were doing that for Biden. They wanted him to get a mental acuity test. They kept saying that over and over. They wanted him to evaluate the validation test. Right? And so they figured out the only person saying Maybe loyalty. He is known for his president. He is loyal. He's not loyal to anyone. He's just loyal to money or to power. I keep trying to think that it's absurd. There is no real mega civil war or division of media and civilians. So everything from everyone else. I think all fans in the national people and the people is not the drop like this at one point. You know, up to on the GOP. Something not favorable is 50 points higher than House. That's what's out there. If we respect popularity, we got to still. Well, it's popularity is not the still. Good, right? That's it.
The president and Tucker Carlson among these voters. What do they basically say?
Yeah, they choose Donald Trump basically every single time. Look at this. Okay, the exact same poll, this UMass Lowell poll. Look at this. Net favorables among Republicans. Again, this is Republicans plus Republican-leaning independents. You see Carlson on the right side of your screen at plus 7 points. Look at where Donald Trump is at plus 61 points. And this is actually a little bit low for Donald Trump. In other polls around the same time, he was even higher than this. Again, he is crushing Tucker Carlson. What is this? This is a 54-point advantage for Donald Trump over Tucker Carlson when it comes to who is more popular among Republican voters. And of course, this is even just talking about the MAGA base, where Donald Trump is running an approval rating somewhere between 97 and 100%.
Okay, so what does this mean for Tucker Carlson going forward? Say Tucker Carlson wanted to build some kind of a platform where he could run for office, say, president.
Yeah, okay. So you see Donald Trump crushing Tucker Carlson here. Take a look at this. Look at the Kalshi prediction markets when it comes to his chance, Tucker Carlson's chance to be the 2028 GOP nominee for president. It's just 5. When you can put it on one hand, you know it's low. It's just 5% that Tucker Carlson actually has enough support within the GOP, at least those who are putting their money where their mouth is, to actually be the GOP nominee in 2028. Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance are running well ahead of him.
Okay, so again, in this imaginary world, if the prediction markets are wrong, Tucker Carlson were to become a candidate, how might he do?
Okay, why don't we take a look again? Absolutely collapsed among Republicans.
So if it is a choice between the president and Tucker Carlson among these voters, what do they basically say?
Yeah, they choose Donald Trump basically every single time. Look at this. Okay, the exact same poll, this UMass Lowell poll. Look at this. Net favorables among Republicans. Again, this is Republicans plus Republican-leaning independents. You see Carlson on the right side of your screen at plus 7 points. Look at where Donald Trump is at plus 61 points. And this is actually a little bit low for Donald Trump. In other polls around the same time, he was even higher than this. Again, he is crushing Tucker Carlson. What is this? This is a 54-point advantage for Donald Trump over Tucker Carlson when it comes to who is more popular among Republican voters. And of course, this is even just talking about the MAGA base, where Donald Trump is running an approval rating somewhere between 97 and 100%.
Okay, so what does this mean for Tucker Carlson going forward? Say Tucker Carlson wanted to build some kind of a platform where he could run for office, say president.
Yeah, okay. So you see Donald Trump crushing Tucker Carlson here. Take a look at this. Look at the Kalshi prediction markets when it comes to his chance, Tucker Carlson's chance to be the 2028 GOP nominee for president. They just on that touchdown. They just on that touchdown against each other. And it seems to be right now, polls are showing that it's only someone MAGA is going to straight up not refusing to turn on candidates or refusing to turn on people that are right. They refuse to turn on anyone, right? They refuse to turn on anyone. That's it.
So that's just the way the system is working. They refuse to turn on Candace Owens. They're just doing things however they feel like doing things, right? That's just a reality. They're going to continue to do things their way or the highway, right? They don't want to hear anyone's opinion. They don't want to hear anyone's... So that's just the way the system is working. They refuse to turn on Candace Owens. They refuse to turn on the people. They're just doing things however they feel like doing things, right? That's just a reality. So let's watch this video their way or the highway, right? They don't want to hear anyone's opinion. They don't want to hear anyone's
So that's just the way the system is working. They refuse to turn on Candace Owens. They refuse to turn on the people. They're just doing things however they feel like doing things, right? That's just a reality. So let's watch this video. Their way or the highway, right? They don't want to hear anyone's opinion. They don't want to hear anyone's. So that's just the way the system.
So the Daily Beast has obtained audio of, oh, is this what she was trying to beat? Is this what Melania was trying to beat? I gotta play this.
So let's watch this video. Their way or the highway, right? They don't want to hear anyone's opinion. They don't want to hear anyone's.
Let's listen to the video. So the Daily Beast has obtained audio of, oh, okay. This is bizarre, right? So Epstein is saying that he introduced him to Melania. He's the one that introduced Melania to Donald Trump. So why the disconnect? This is bizarre, right? So Epstein is saying that he introduced him to Melania. He's the one that introduced Melania to Donald Trump. So why the disconnect?
So how do you know this?
That's right. As you probably know, he had a scalp reduction. Which he had the same male pattern movement that we all have. He had his scalp moved, which is there. And he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like to do that? He'd say, you know.
So how do you know?
You like having sex with your wife? How often do you do that? So it's great.
Listen to this.
Seriously, Michael, how often do you have sex with you? I mean, don't you want trouble? You and I can go upstairs, or tomorrow come over. There's this girl's coming in from Los Angeles, part of the Hawaiian Tropic So come over at 3 o'clock. You're going to have a great time. I promise you, Michael, you know, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock. We can go upstairs. The whole time, Victoria's been on this on the phone, listening, setting it up because he wants a story. You must, you must have had a better wife, right? I said, yes. Tell me about it. And the wife's on the speakerphone, listening, smiling, and said, I know you, look, I think you're really hot. And I know you think you're a guy. Michael is like the end of the world, the best guy on earth, you will be married for. You're wrong. Just listen to the next 20 minutes. And go with the new purpose, set you up.
Huh? Forget it. Forget it. Do your own thing. Thank you. Okay, so can you hear me? Okay. So this was the audio of Melania Trump by a book that came out that says that Epstein was interviewed, and Epstein says he introduced Trump to Melania. Let's
So
listen to it
how do
again.
you know this?
That was close to straight. So you probably know he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern movement that we all have. He had his scalp moved and stuff. But he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like there? He'd say, you like having sex with your wife? How often do you? He'd say, it's great. Seriously, Michael, how often do you have sex? I mean, don't you want to try? You and I can go upstairs, or tomorrow come over. There's this girl's coming in from Los Angeles, part of the Hawaiian Tropic so come over with your car. You're going to have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Okay. Be up here at 3 o'clock. We can go upstairs. The whole
Try
time,
something different.
Victoria's been on the phone. Set it up. Because he wants a story. You must have had a better wife, right? Headphones. Yes. These headphones. Tell me about it. And the wife's on the speakerphone, listening, smiling, and said, I know you, look, I think you're really hot. And I know you think you're a guy. Michael is like the end of the world, the best guy on earth, you will be married for. You're wrong. Just listen to the next 20 minutes. And go with the new purpose, set you up.
So how do you know this?
That was close to straight. You probably know he had a scalp reduction because he had the same male pattern model that we all have. He had his scalp moved from steroid. But he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like to be married? He'd say, well, you like having sex with your wife? How often do they? He'd say, it's great. Seriously, Michael, how often do we have sex? I mean, don't you want to try? You and I can go upstairs or tomorrow, come over. There's this girl's coming in from Los Angeles, part of the Hawaiian Tropic kind of. Hawaiian. So come over at 3 o'clock. You're going to have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock. We can go upstairs. The whole time, Victoria's been on the phone, listening. He's setting it up. Because he wants a story. You must have had a better wife, right? I said, yes. Tell me about it. And the wife's on the speakerphone listening to Donald and said, I think you're really hot. And I know you think you're a guy. Michael is like the end of the world, the best guy on earth. You will be married to him. You're wrong. Just listen to the next 20 minutes. And go with the new office, set you up.
And then the contradictions, the whole. I apologize. Let me restart this, okay?